Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the important news and editorial of the day that is important and relevant for the civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 5th of January. The first important news that is Center clears green hydrogen mission, something very important that will give India an edge in terms of achieving the target of green hydrogen. Second, about the high power committee that was formed for the Ladakh. Third, Cabinet approve a scheme for upgrading infrastructure for Doordarshan and AIR News. Fourth, Silent Valley bird species numbers goes on high and increasing. And the last is an editorial, the value of local self-governance. Now, apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is Center Clear Green Hydrogen Mission, something important for General Studies Paper 2 under the subtopic that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementations. The Union Cabinet recently, which was chaired by the Prime Minister himself, has approved the National Green Hydrogen Mission, and this mission will facilitate the demand, basically the demand creations, productions, utilization and export of green hydrogen. So this will ensure that India is having a substantial productions of green hydrogen indigenously. The initial outlay for the mission will be 19,744 crore rupees, and all the concerned ministries, department, agencies and institutions of the central government as well as for the state government will undertake focused and coordinated step to ensure the achievement of mission's objective. A very important mission at this juncture where a lot of promises has been made by India at the global level, talking about COP27 where recently Prime Minister has come up with Panchamrit initiative. तो ये सारे कुछ ऐसे important initiatives already India की तरफ से की गए. And even if you talk about the Paris Climate Change Agreement and many other sort of agreement that is there will definitely be boosted with this mission. Now, what is the outcome of this mission? By 2030, the mission will result in the following outcome. First is for the development of green hydrogen. First will be the development of green hydrogen production capacity at least of 5 million metric ton per annum with associated renewable energy capacity of 125 gigawatt in the country. Over 8 lakh crore in the total investment will be there. Creation of over 6 lakh new jobs. Cumulative reductions in fossil fuel import over 1 lakh crore. And last but not the least is the abatement of nearly 50 million metric ton of annual greenhouse gas emissions. So these are some of the possible outcome that has been envisaged under this mission. Benefits की अगर बात करें इस स्कीम की, call for creations of export opportunities for the green hydrogen and its derivatives. Second, it call for decarbonization of industries, mobility and energy sector. As most of our sectors are coal dependent, right? तो coal dependent होने की वजह से जो pollutions है वो भी काफी high है. Mostly if you see number 50 to 60% of our industries are coal dependent. Reductions in the dependence of import fossil and feedstock. Development of indigenous manufacturing capabilities, creations of employment opportunities, and development of cutting edge technology. So this is something that will be the benefit under the mission. Now, India's green hydrogen production capacity की अगर बात करें, India's green hydrogen production capacity is likely to reach 5 million metric ton per annum with an associated renewable energy capacity additional of about 125 gigawatt. This is what I have already discussed. Now, target for 2030 will be bring down 8 lakh crore investment and nearly 15 metric ton of the CO2 emission is expected to be averted by 2030. Now, the Union Cabinet has approved the national green missions. These are the details, right? 125 gigawatts and total outlay is there. These are some of the short bullets point that will help you to revise. You can take the screenshot of this as well. Expected outcome that I have already told you. That is mentioned in these two graphs. Now there's a SHITE program which stands for Strategic Investment Interventions for Green Hydrogen Transition Program. There's a two distinct financial incentive mechanism targeting the domestic manufacturing of electrolysis and productions of green hydrogen that will be provided under the mission. The mission will support the pilot project in emerging end use sector and the productions pathway. Now, regional capable of supporting large-scale productions and utilization of hydrogen will be identified and developed as a green hydrogen hub. Public private investment की बात की गई है. So there is a triple P model that has been envisaged by the government which has a potential. So the mission plans for a robust standard and regulation framework in the development of ecosystem. This will facilitate the public-private partnership framework for the research and development. The new policy is a part of the green and the hydrogen as a used fuel in the sector that tuned for around 6 million ton per annum for 2020 and replace the fuel in other sectors as well. Now, this is all the revision purposes. You can take this screenshot. If you're having Hindu, you can have a direct access to this as well. These are some of the important points that is for the revision purposes. Now, moving to the other news about the High Power Ladakh Committee, something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is the functions and responsibility of union and state and issues and challenges pertaining to the federal structure of this country. So recently, the Ministry of Home Affairs has constituted a high power committee for the Union Territory of Ladakh, and there are some issues that will be discussed with the committee. First is the measures to protect the regional unique culture, language taking into consideration its geographical location and strategic importance, ensuring protecting of land and employment of the people for the Ladakh, strategic inclusive development and discussion issues related to the empowerment of Ladakh Autonomous Hill and District Council of Leh and Kargil, which is an integral part of the entire Ladakh Union Territory. Now, rationale behind this committee, why the government has come up with this particular committee, the Ministry of Home Affairs की जो formation हुई है इसकी क्या rationale है इस committee को बनाने के पीछे. Many civil society group in Ladakh have been demanding and protecting, basically they were for the land and the resources and employment for the past 3 years with after the special status that was given to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Abrogation जब हुई state हटाई गई and the UT was formed, right? So after that only a debate was there that there should be a rational committee which should look into the part of the livelihood for the people. The fear of big businesses and conglomerate taking place, the land and jobs for the local people have contributed to this demand. So there were definitely a fear of danger among the localites residing in the region. Now, 6th schedule में क्या detail mention की गई है constitutional provisions की अगर बात करें, as per the 6th schedule under Article 244 of the Constitution, this protect the autonomy of the tribal population for the creation of autonomous development council and to frame laws on land, public health and agriculture. A very important point, important for both prelims as well as for the mains examination, right? Now, as of now, 10 autonomous council exist, right? This include autonomous council in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. As per the 2011 census, a total population of Ladakh is 2,74,289 and nearly 80% of them are tribal. Now, background की अगर बात करें जिस context में ये चीजें central government ने recognize किया ना, the formation for the committee was there. In 2020, people movement for the constitutional safeguard under the 6th schedule or the apex body of the lay was formed, and this announced that they boycott the upcoming district autonomous council elections. उन्होंने उसे खारिज किया because they first wanted the security under the constitutional provisions. So they also assured that the discussion would commence 15 days after the accumulation of the elections. And in August, the two bodies renewed the demand for Sikh full statehood for the Ladakh. The UT has shut down for the last twice it was locked, and the protest several occasions for the 3 years for this demand. So this is the tension that has escalated in the region. Now the reason being the central government has taken the cognizance of that, and the committee will look into the important aspect whether the statehood should be granted or not. Now, government stands की अगर बात करें, center is not keen in giving any special status to Ladakh. This is what the government has made it clear, right? So they will be not providing any special status. The Ministry of Home Affairs has informed the Parliamentary Standing Committee that the objective for the inclusion of tribal population under the sixth schedule of the Indian Constitution, right, with concerning the socio-economic backwardness, right? As the report tabled in the Rajya Sabha in 2022, the Ladakh administrator has recently increased the reservation for the scheduled tribe to the direct recruitment from 10% to 45%. तो jump हुई है almost 35% की, significantly helping the tribal population for the development. Now, moving to the other news, Cabinet approves schemes for upgrading infrastructure, Doordarshan and AIR. Important for General Studies Paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So recently, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, also known as CCEA, that is CCEA, has approved the Center Sector Broadcasting Infrastructure and Network Development Scheme, which is also known as BIND scheme. And this BIND scheme is the vehicle for providing financial support to the Prasar Bharati for the expenses related to the expansion. This is the first part. And second is the upgradation of its broadcasting infrastructure, content development, civic work related to the organization. The scheme is worth for more than 25,000 crore rupees for the Doordarshan and All India Radio News. Now about the Prasar Bharati is a public broadcaster of the country, headquartered in New Delhi. It's a statutory autonomous body set up by the Act of Parliament and comprises of Doordarshan Television Network, Akhil All India Radio, that is All India Radio, I think most of you must be aware of this, and earlier users Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. The Parliament of India has passed the Prasar Bharati Act to grant the autonomy in 1990, and it was enacted in 15 September 1997. Although it was not enacted by then. And according to the IB Ministry, present Doordarshan operate with 36 TV channels, including 28 regional channels, and AIR operation for more than 500 broadcasting centers. Priorities under BIND scheme की अगर बात करें, so the scheme will enable the broadcasters to take major upgradation facilities for the better infrastructure and widen its reach to the LWE, that is the left wing extremist area जो है वहाँ पे भी इसकी expansion बढ़ाई जाएगी border और strategic areas में, ताकि एक high quality content मिल सके वहाँ के viewers को. Another priority for the scheme is to have a development of high quality content, domestic and international audience, and ensure availability of advanced content for the viewers, upgradations, capability, DTH platform, and accommodate more channels. Purchase of OV-WAN, digital upgradations, DD and AR studios to be made with HD ready and as to be done as a part of this project. Now, enhancing the scope of public broadcasting, जो broadcasting infrastructure और network development scheme है, that will increase the coverage of the AIR FM transmissions in the country to 66% by the geographical area from 59% and 80% by the population from presently 68%. So these are the target or the roadmap. Under the scheme, 8 lakh DD free DISH TV set-up box will be distributed to the people free of cost, specifically living in the remote, tribal, left-wing extremist area, border areas, and aspirational district areas. Now, into additions, the scope of broadcasting publication, the project for monetizations and even modernizations के अलावा augmentations of the broadcasting infrastructure and potential to generate the indirect employment is a way of manufacturing, जहाँ पे service related to supply and installation of the broadcast equipment will also be there. The project for the expansion of the reach with the DD free dish TV, which will be the part of the generation employment opportunities to the manufacturing of set-top box. तो इतनी सारी सेटअप बॉक्स बनाई जाएगी जो कहीं ना कहीं वहाँ के लोकल्स को एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी प्रोवाइड करेंगे. Now, these are all the details that we have discussed. To sum up, you can read out here one by one. These are the slides about the broadcasting infrastructure network development. These are some of the important points that you can even take the screenshot. Now, other part is total amount. Measure benefits, I have told you, it will be the measure upgradation part of the infrastructure. It will lead to the left-wing extremist area, provide high-quality content, development of part of the development for domestic and international audience, availability of diverse content, and even purchase of OV1 and digital of the DD and AI studios to make it HD ready. Silent Valley bird species numbers goes on, something important for general studies paper 3, that is the conservation, environmental pollutions, degradation and EIA. A bird survey recently conducted at the Silent Valley National Park in Kerala has identified 141 species, of which 17 were new. Now, so far, 175 species of the bird had been spotted in the Silent Valley, and survey held there in December 27, 28, 29 marked 30th anniversary of the first bird survey which started in the Silent Valley. As many as 30 birds and the foreign staff took the part in the survey, and they called for strengthening the part of the survey, and even the 7th camp inside the core Silent Valley also took place. The survey was held in occasion with the Kerala Natural Historical Society. So some of the animals that was reported in the newspaper are these. Now, the total new species during the survey, 70 new species were identified in the Silent Valley, which include brown wood owl, banded bay cuckoo, Malabar wood shrike, wild-toed kingfishers, Indian nightsar, jungle nightsar, and large cock shrike. So these are some of the important species that has been identified. As many as 139 birds has been identified, and this survey was held in 2006. The number spiked went to 142, and this was held in 2014. Silent Valley officials said that the species endemic to the elevations area and also identified during the survey. So some new species that has been identified might be relevant for the UPSC prelims examination. They will not specifically ask the species, but इस खास करके अगर national park के बारे में पूछा जाए, there can be a possible questions. About the Silent Valley National Park, the Silent Valley National Park, this is all the important for prelims and for many other competitive examination. It's a national park situated in Nilgiri Hills in Kerala, one important point. Second, the park is surrounded by the buffer zone to protect the flora and fauna, and the buffer zone account for 148 square kilometer. The park is a heart of Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, consists of the area with the southwestern Ghat rainforest and tropical wet green evergreen jungle. Now, the river is very important here. This can be a possible question. So, River Kunti is part which passes through the valley and basically this national park. And the Silent Valley National Park is known for many endangered species such as lion-tailed macaw, tiger, hog, leopard, wild bear, panther, Indian civet, and sambar. Now, some map work, again important for prelims purposes. You can see this is how the things look like. There are many other part which is also there. The Bird Sanctuary Silent Valley National Park is here, surrounded in the region. Basically, if you see the adjacent area is Wayanad, Kerala. And these are the other national park which is there, which is again going to be relevant for the prelims examination, Periyar at the extreme south of it. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, the values of local self-governance, something important for general studies paper 2 under the subtopic, that is the functions and responsibility of union and states and issues and challenges pertaining to the federal structure of this country. Now, what are the issues under this editorial? Before jumping to the issues, just look into the theme. This is local self-governance. First, we'll see the normative basis of local self-governance, the motto of 37, 73 and 74 amendment, challenges in the local self-governance and local government and federalism. So in December 1992, this is a background of this editorial, right? So Parliament has passed the 73rd and 74 constitutional amendment, which instituted the panchayat municipality respectively. So these were the two important institutions that was formed, and the rationale was to decentralize the powers. The amendment mandated the state government to constitute panchayat at the village level, block level, and district level, and municipality in the form of municipal corporations, municipal councils, and Nagar Panchayat in every region. The amendment sought to institute the third tier of governance in the federal framework and the devolutions of functions, fund, and functionary with the local government. The year 2022 marked the 30th anniversary of this reform, and in light of this, a very important question arises from this topic, that is with regards to 74 constitutional 74th constitutional amendment में क्या क्या जर्नी रही है इंडिया की, उसके बारे में डायरेक्ट आपसे मेंस पे सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं. Now, normative basis of local self-governance. Understanding the normative basis of the local self-governance is important since also informs the institutional form of the local government to take place. And local self-governance की बात करें, it's linked to the idea of subsidiary and typical grounded two broad argument. पहली argument है that is provide efficient provisions for the public good since the government is smaller jurisdiction and can provide as per the preferred resident. And second, it promote a deeper democracy since the government that close to the people allows citizens to engage in the public welfare with more easy access. The motto क्या थी 73rd and 74th amendment जो की गई हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में, basically the state were required to vest panchayat with having more autonomy which will provide authority and enable them to function as an institution of self-governance, जहाँ पे पावर की डिस्ट्रीब्यूशंस दी गई सोशल और इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, सोशल जस्टिस को ध्यान में रखते हुए उनको ये पावर दी गई ताकि डेवलपमेंट हो सके पूरे एरिया की, एंड द सिटीजंस शुड हैव देयर स्टेक. Now they also mandated the regular conduct of the local elections, basically reservation of seat for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, women in the local body, and even participations in the form of the Gram Sabha, Panchayat, and committee as a part of municipal corporations. Here, the core values is regarding to the amendment and entrenchment of the deep locking democracies, and even devolving the functions to meet the ends of the economic development and social justice. Challenges की अगर बात करें in the local self-governance, first is the despite the constitutional promises of the local self-governance या local government की बात करें, especially municipalities में उनकी autonomy और उनके functioning को लेकर के अभी भी सवाल उठाए जाते हैं because they are running positive with the authority, right? And the authority is attributed to inherent limitations in the 74 amendment, जहाँ पे failure of the state government and the court to implement the interpretation of the amendment with all letter and spirits. Now, the limitations include the discretionary given to the state regarding the devolution's power in levying the local taxes, and state government are reluctant to implement 74 constitutional amendment cited economic powerhouses controlling urban land important for state finances and political parties. So despite the journey which took place almost 30 years, the core essence has not yet been made. Now, local self-government or federalism की अगर बात करें, India is undergoing the central shift in politics, economy, and culture. There has been a renewed assertion with regards to the federalism. However, the assertion of the state right is hardly articulated in the value-based normative claims. So, debate है whether the federalism should longer be a part of the discussion, should be divided and shared between the government and union, state, and local level, or normative and only structure integral part of the federal framework of the constitution. So these are the things that definitely need to be looked upon if we have crossed such 30 years of journey. The core essence and basically the rationale behind the formation should actually be achieved. Now, moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, also the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice. World Sustainable Development Summit is an annual flagship event organized by the Greenpeace. The theme for 2021 summit was redefining our common future, safe environment, secure for all. Sometimes UPSC tend to ask a question which is year or 2 year old. So you have to be thorough with the point that was relevant during the year or 2 year old current affairs. Now the second question, Shramik or Shakcha, that is the dynamic portal for the job mapping of the skills and Shramik of MSME and other sectors across the country. The portal uses algorithm and artificial intelligence tools to provide analysis and skill analysis program of the Shramiks. So this programs related especially to the welfare schemes that provide social security is very important for the examination purposes. Do check it out for the correct option, which among the following option is correct. And practicing allotment question will give you an edge over the upcoming prelims examination. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.